So there's big, then there's big. Xiaomi just released the Mi Max 3 and it's the second kind of big. It is huge, massive, a monster, and it's likely going to be the largest phone released in 2018. But I'm guessing that's what Xiaomi wants it to be, as there are many users who would prefer to hold one device instead of a phone-tablet combination. I received this Mi Max 3 a few days ago and have been putting it through its paces to see if this phablet is worthy of leaving everything else at home. I'm Adam, tech editor with Gizmo China, and let me show you what I think of the construction quality, specs, display, user experience, and camera with my review of the Xiaomi Mi Max 3. Xiaomi sends this beastly phone in a clean-looking white box. It includes a USB-C connected fast charger with Fast Charge 3.0, some paperwork, and a SIM tray ejector. Nothing else is really needed, although including a protective case like many of their higher phones would have been a nice addition. Since this phone has a 3.5mm audio jack, no dongle is needed. Yeah, this is certainly one way to go notchless. Xiaomi just spent quite a bit of time trying to buck that trend with their Mi Max series and this massive device. It's a true mid-grade type model with an all-aluminum body and glass up front. The black aluminum on this model is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but thankfully it's not all that visible due to the matte finish. I do like how this phone looks with its sleek design all the way around and clean back. Placing the dual camera in the upper left corner and the modest fingerprint reader in the upper center with only the smallish Xiaomi logo and some tiny design by text towards the bottom makes the large phone seem even larger. Well done. The Mi Max 3 at 176.2 millimeters tall, 87.4 millimeters wide, and surprisingly thin at slightly more than 8 millimeters deep feels more comfortable to hold than I expected due to the well-rounded back edges. This is definitely not a one-handed device, but there's plenty of room to hold on while gaming or watching videos. Those videos will be viewed on a humongous 6.9-inch IPS LCD screen with an 18:9 ratio. 2160 by 1080 pixel screen make for somewhat smooth 350 ppi. Pixels are going to likely be visible, but shouldn't heavily affect the experience. The device isn't the brightest in sunlight, to be honest, and in fact it felt more like a mirror at times, so you're going to have to keep the sun in front of you for optimal outside use. The Mi Max 3 has a familiar button layout for most Xiaomi users with the power and volume rocker on the right side and the hybrid dual SIM card tray on the left. Where things get a little funky is at the top where Xiaomi placed a 3.5mm audio jack alongside a noise reduction assist mic and an IR blaster. And instead they used both sides of the USB-C port on the bottom for a speaker and amplifier system. About the speaker setup, the earphone doubles as a second stereo speaker, but only just so by adding a small bump in the highs and mids. It does seem to add to the dimension of the sound, but only slightly. I do like stereo speaker usage, but would have preferred more from that earphone speaker. Let's go ahead and check out the sound quality here. It's not so bad. I do feel the sound is a bit more muffled than other mid-range devices that I've heard recently, which is a surprise given the real estate offered at the bottom and use of the earphone speaker. If you're enjoying this review of the Xiaomi Mi Max 3, make sure to press the like button. We'd love to hear your thoughts on if you prefer this phone compared with other mid-range devices as well. Please leave your comments and subscribe to the Gizmo China channel for more smartphone and tech goodness. Starting with the MIUI 9.5 skin on top of Android 8.1 Oreo, powered by a Snapdragon 636 chipset, the Mi Max 3 mostly gets the job done and on a budget. Paired with an octa-core 1.8 GHz Kirin 260 CPU and an Adreno 509 GPU allows for decent gaming. But as you can see here, not at the highest resolutions and with some lag and stuttering at the higher quality settings. You're going to want to keep this at a mid-level resolution. There are two options for the Xiaomi Mi Max 3 with a 4GB of RAM with with 64 gigabytes of storage option, like I have here, and a 6 gigabyte RAM option with 128 gigabyte storage, upgraded version. Also, you can add up to 256 gigabytes of additional storage in the hybrid SIM tray. Video playback on the 4 gigabyte RAM Max 3 is a bit choppy with 4K footage. However, I feel the 6 gigabyte version shouldn't really have those issues. Scrolling through menus in the UI is definitely speedy enough with either setup. Xiaomi included Bluetooth 5.0, but unfortunately there's no wireless charging. With pretty much the same software as the sweet Xiaomi Mix 2S and Mi 8, the Mi Max 3 is in great shape to offer a smooth user experience. Xiaomi designers paid attention to some well-known fruit company and included a brilliant and easy-to-use gesture system that makes me want to use this style interface on my daily driver. Swiping up to get home, holding for a moment to get to multitasking, it's just so smooth and natural. I really like some of the inbuilt animations, such as when swiping back and forth, you can see the page bending with your touch. If you aren't a big fan of the gestures, you can still use the standard Android navigation system at the bottom of the phone. Setting up the fingerprint scanner is simple, as all you do is press your finger and lift it a few times and it's set. Setting up the facial recognition is quite similar. Simply place your phone in front of your face and it'll take a quick scan. Then, next time when you want to unlock your phone, you don't have to pick it up to access the fingerprint scanner on the back. I found the facial unlocking was pretty good, and I absolutely love the option to double tap the screen to wake, then the facial recognition takes over and nearly instantly unlocks the phone. And there's the battery, all 5,500 milliamperes of it. That'll certainly power you through the day. This device will in fact also act as a power bank for your lesser battery friends and or your other devices. That's pretty sweet. So when or if you ever run out of battery charge, Xiaomi has you covered with a speedy 18-watt fast charger that'll get you up to 70% plus in about an hour. The cameras on the Xiaomi Mi Max 3 are as mid-grade as the device is. The main 12-megapixel f.19 shooter is paired with a 5-megapixel camera that I'm guessing is there to help with the AI options. It has good detail, decent color, and fair dynamic range. However, it's slightly slow compared with similar mid-range camera phones. The Max 3 comes with quite a bit of the standard type modes and includes a few groovy ones like the AI mode and night shots with less noise in the HHT option. What happens is the phone takes multiple images, which it will then use the differing information to remove the noise electronically. And in my experience, it definitely gave slightly better detail and a less muddy image in low light. I do like the ability to change the contrast, saturation, and sharpness for those that want to edit their shots after the fact. In general use, I found the images to be okay, but mostly just a bit of a mixed bag, with some shots slightly blown out in the highlights, with others pretty close to spot on. For still images, owners of this behemoth will have a decent value camera in their large pockets. Well, actually probably likely their bags, as I'd not recommend sitting with this phone in your pocket. When it comes to videos, I find the footage not all that great, with only electronic stabilization at 720p or 1080p, but none natively at 4K. Which is unfortunately quite standard for most mobile phones these days. I found the videos to look just good enough for general social media use, however, so most people should be fine with the results. Let's give Xiaomi some credit here. They've created a budget-friendly phablet that is pretty user-friendly with its fantastic MIUI 9.5, and I'm sure it's going to get the MIUI 10 soon. It looks great, can take decent photos, and gaming, videos, answering emails is all done without too much sacrifice for general users and mid-target buyers. If you wish to purchase the Xiaomi Mi Max 3, the 4GB RAM, 64GB storage option is 1,699 Chinese yuan, about $250 US. And the 6GB RAM, 128GB storage option is 1,999 Chinese renminbi, which is about $300 US. So let us know what you think about the Xiaomi Mi Max 3 in the comments below. For those that are looking for a large enough screen on your phone to ditch the need for an additional tablet and on a budget with battery life to match, look no further.